Good morning, Marvel Rival nerds. My name is Judgment Monk, and welcome to Marvel Rivals by the Numbers. Today we're going over the Season 3 high versus low ranked tier list. By using the Marvel Rival Hero Hot List pick rates and win rates, we'll be ranking each hero purely off the statistics. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Rivals content, and provide any feedback that you think would be helpful moving forward. Jumping right in, we'll be covering the low ranked tier list first. In the S tier, we only have 3 heroes that retain their spots from last time. That being Cloak and Dagger, Rocket Raccoon, and Emma Frost. All 3 of these heroes have insane pick rates coupled with really good win rates to put them in the S tier. In the A tier, there's 12 heroes. We have Ultron, Penny, BP, Magic, Magneto, Phoenix, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, The Thing, Luna Snow, Invisible Woman, and Thor. Ultron, BP, and Penny all fell from the S tier. The calculations this time around are exactly the same, but these heroes just didn't have the same win rate that they had in Season 2.5. Luna Snow and Invis jump up 2 tiers, while Thing climbs from D to A. I will say, due to the addition of Phoenix, most of the DPS saw a drastic decrease in their pick rate, and thus a drop in their score. But the DPS in A tier still had pretty high win rates to hold their position. Moving on to the B tier, we see another 12 heroes. Storm, Hulk, Captain America, Psylocke, Mantis, Loki, Wolverine, Mr. Fantastic, Spider-Man, Squirrel Girl, Hela, and Jeff. Out of these 12 characters, 8 of them are consistent, being Hulk, Cap, Psylocke, Mantis, Loki, Wolv, Fantastic, and Jeff. Everybody in this tier has an above 50% win rate, with the exception of the bottom 4. These characters just have higher pick rates than most that keep them in the B tier. In the C tier, we see 1 familiar face, being Groot, 4 risers, and 1 fallen soldier. In this tier, we consistently see below 50% win rates across the board, even for the 4 risers, being Torch, Venom, Moon Knight, and Iron Fist. They all did much better than Season 2.5, but they weren't able to crack the B tier. In the D tier are more DPS feeling the effects of the Phoenix. All of these DPS see very low pick rates, but they also have a sub 47% win rate. Adam Warlock has a decent win rate, but is almost never picked, keeping him in the D tier once again. Finally, the F tier. Do I need to say more? Moving on to the high rank side of the bracket. In the S tier, we only have 4 characters. We have the king and queen of the game, as well as the prince and princess. These 4 characters are seen in almost every single game, almost to the point where the game has started to homogenize at the highest levels. In the A tier, we have Psylocke, Rocket, Phoenix, Hulk, Captain America, Cloak and Dagger, Penny Parker, Magic, Doctor Strange, and Mantis. With the decreasing pick rates across the board for the DPS, only the highest performers made it to the A tier. Psylocke and Phoenix were aided by their pick rates, but Magic got to the A tier solely off of her win rate. All the vanguards in this tier are standouts in their own right. Hulk and Cap take specialists to play at a high level, while Strange is a comfort pick for most vanguard players. Penny still sees a ridiculously high win rate even at these higher ranks, and secures her place in the A tier. In the B tier, we see the rest of the falling DPS. All of these characters saw their pick rates drop, but some of them still have an above 52% win rate. We have Wolverine, Human Torch, BP, Namor, Iron Fist, Venom, Invis, Groot, and Spidey. All of these heroes did really well for themselves considering the circumstances. In the C tier, we have Storm, Thor, Fantastic, Iron Man, Hela, Jeff, and The Thing. The top 3 of this category have pretty low pick rates, but decently high win rates, while the bottom 4 of this category are honestly underperforming, but are carried by their pick rates. The D tier only sees 2 characters, one of them being picked way too much, while underperforming, and the other being picked way too little. Where Adam is probably the least popular character in the game. Nobody wants an Adam on their team. Hopefully the buffs in Season 3.5 do Adam some justice. Finally, the last 8 characters in the F tier have been deemed unplayable at the highest level, and some of them for good reason. We have Star-Lord, Ultron, Punisher, Squirrel Girl, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Scarlet Witch, and Widow. Now, some of these characters in the right hands can absolutely dominate the game, but on a wider scale, all of these characters don't perform at the highest levels, and most of them have a sub 45% win rate. Now, obviously, statistics don't tell the whole story, so let's look at the biggest winners and losers on both sides of this bracket, starting off with the low ranked side. All the biggest winners from this season have one thing in common. They all have a positive win rate and pick rate compared to last season. The biggest winners this season are The Thing, Human Torch, Luna Snow, Invisible Woman, and Namor. The Thing's upgrades have worked wonders, really increasing his viability and making him a lot more fun to play. According to these statistics, lower ranked players are finally figuring out Torch. But let's be real, this is more likely a result of the rank reset. There are much better players playing in these lower ranks at the start of Season 3. I would say that for all of these characters except for Namor. Namor received those buffs and is actually performing much better because of them. Moving on to the biggest losers. All of these characters, as you'd expect, have a negative pick rate and win rate compared to last season. We have the Punisher, Ultron, Black Widow, Hela, and Spider-Man. I don't know what happened, but Punisher fell off a cliff right after being picked as my top 3 DPS in the game. Even though he was still in the A tier, Ultron's new toy syndrome has finally worn off. Now, someone that I did not expect to be in the biggest loser category is Black Widow. How is it that the worst character got even worse? With the introduction of Phoenix, Black Widow takes a big hit, but Hela takes an even bigger hit. With Phoenix being just a little more enjoyable, Hela has taken a big hit in Season 3. Finally, Spidey is really feeling those nerfs that he received, and the addition of the Human Torch team-up did not close the gap. Moving on to the high-ranked side of the bracket, we have our biggest winners being Luna Snow, Namor, the Human Torch, The Thing, and Magneto. I think the most ridiculous statistic in this entire tier list is the fact that Luna Snow's pick rate increased by 16.26% from last season. She was already a dominant character in the game, but this increase is insane. Namor makes a huge comeback from last season, climbing his way out of the F tier with a huge 6.34% win rate increase. In the higher ranks, the Human Torch is pretty much permabanned in Season 3. But more and more people are figuring out how to play this character, and it's just making his pick rate and win rate go through the roof. Once again, the Thing's upgrade has really worked wonders, and this character just feels much better to play, and it really shows in the stats. Finally, Magneto goes from top tier to the moon. With a 7.53% pick rate increase, Mag is clearly the best tank in the game. On to the biggest losers. We have Ultron, Punisher, Rocket, Iron Man, and Emma Frost? In the higher ranks, Ultron is almost all figured out. People target him first to get rid of the drone and then wipe the rest of the team. Up next, the Punisher fall off is even more drastic in the higher ranks. I really don't know what's the difference between Season 2.5 and Season 3. However, Rocket can be explained pretty easily. With the introduction of Phoenix that counters his ult instantly, nobody wants to play this character anymore. Even though his win rate is still pretty high, his pick rate goes down the toilet in Season 3. One of the more surprising ones is the Iron Man drop. With a drop in pick rate and win rate, this character seemingly has fallen off a cliff. He still feels fine to play, and I wouldn't let these statistics deter anybody. Finally, we have Emma Frost, seeing a very large 6% pick rate reduction in the higher ranks. But even with her being the 5th biggest loser of the season, she still landed in the S tier. This tells you exactly how good she actually was last season. Now that's it for the biggest winners and the biggest losers of the season. But I do have a surprise for you guys. With the Marvel Rivals Ignite tournament coming to a close, congrats to Team Rad by the way, I was able to compile the data on the pick rates and ban rates for each character and add them to my high rank statistical tier list for Season 3. Moving forward, low rank will consist of bronze to diamond, while high rank will be GM to one above all, and include any pro play data I can gather. Without further ado, the S tier has the usual suspects. Still at the top, we see Loki, Luna, and Mag, but they are joined by the biggest winner from pro play inclusion, that being Torch. The Human Torch had almost a 44% ban rate in the Marvel Ignite tournament. This shows just how dominant of a character he was, or how feared he actually is. In the A tier, we see Captain America, Emma Frost, Psylocke, Phoenix, Mantis, Wolverine, and Cloak and Dagger. If you watched the Ignite tournament, you saw a ton of Psylocke and Phoenix play, while the rest of the group saw a ton of bans throughout the tournament. But all of these characters are also standouts in rank play, which keep them in the A tier. In the B tier, we see a nice spread. Most of the characters that had a high win rate in the high ranked tier list previously dropped down due to the lack of inclusion in pro play, where a character like Venom shoots up the ladder because of his outstanding play in the Marvel Ignite tournament. The C tier is the widest group of characters, all of which fill a niche in the game. The C tier is where the pro play implications start to fall off. Most of these characters weren't highly played, but when they were very fun to watch. Shout out to Jeff the Landshark. In the D tier, we see all of the fallen DPS, as well as the Thing. Star-Lord did see a bit of a boost from pro play inclusion, but not enough to rise up the ranks. And the Thing, although fun to play, did not see as much success in the pro tournament because there are just some tanks that are better. Finally, the F tier. This tier has the actual bad characters in the game, but surprisingly, Black Widow isn't at the bottom. All these characters had almost no pro play inclusion, as well as a sub 45% win rate in the higher ranks, earning them the F tier slot. Now, the inclusion of pro play did even out this tier list pretty nicely, and I look forward to including more pro play in the future. With that, thank you so much for watching. This has been Judgment Monk with Marvel Rivals by the Numbers. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Rivals content, and peace out.